Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Together we are going to solve some puzzles today. Today is already the 28th of March. We have moved on past the full moon eclipse in Libra that has happened on the 25th, and we are now heading straight forward for the works. And what I mean here is, well, Aries is done with the first stage, the first strategy, the first idea, or the first voice. And now we're going into some unpacking. And yeah, definitely in some cases, we would have done probably the worst already. We would have already fallen on our face, we would have already said the wrong thing. In some cases, we kind of went there, and went, nah. So that's the thing. We now have a very, very nice, requited, and easygoing, simple reality, I hope. So as the eclipse happened in the south noded sign of Libra, we would have done the worst case scenario already. We could have evaded certain social pressures already. We would have done the main thing that we had to do, or we would have left the situation. So all of this kind of stuff already is boring because it's already been a couple of days, so it's just old news now. Come on, where are we going from here? So basically what I've got to tell you is that we have got to make our own stuff. We have to make our own money, we have to make our own friends, we have to make our own business ideas, we have to be ourselves. And if you're not willing to breathe that fire yet, because we are definitely in a dragon year, if you're not ready yet to have that willpower and that strength and to really feel it, you will not go there. So that's the thing. If you can't, you will not go there. And it probably is going to be a very big filtering, like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, or promises, and not actually doing it is going to definitely be a sign of weakness, not just weakness, childishness and vulnerability or inability. So let's start again. Let's start again. Aries is the first sign of the year. It is the new year now. Good luck. Okay, so we've got to basically bring it all out and get stable. So if you want, you can now do that thing. It is just whether or not you have the brawn, the energy, or you can face certain dangers that are in your path. So this is for the very willful hunting energies, for the hunter's personality that wants to get out there and it doesn't care if it's vulnerable or not, it just wants to do it. So for example, you want to start a workout routine, you want to start eating right, you want to start sitting up straight, or you want to make friends, you want to go, you want to move countries, you want to make a business idea, anything like that. You want to make a baby, you want to get married, you want to find somebody, that's okay. You have to go and start and be okay that it is foolish as well. So the whole thing about Aries is it's kind of innocent. It has a lot of vibration, it has a lot of flamboyance, it has a lot of poise and tact this year because we have eclipses. So it's already like learned not to go there too fast and too soon. We are in a wooden dragon year, so there is need for poise and respect. It's not just about burning things down to the ground and starting things over. We have to grow and we have to do it now. So the spurt is huge. The energy of the earth has really supplied a lot of frequency, a lot of sun, or a lot of energy during this time. We're given more than we even have been okay with before. Maybe you have lots of clients all of a sudden, or you have lots of ideas, or you have a lot of frequency, or maybe you're getting better. Maybe you had an ailment all your life and it's now becoming elevated or alleviated from your body. It's very, very easy to do things and to feel a star. And that's absolutely okay if there is a little bit of ego coming out to play. It is absolutely fine if it is all about like finances or careers or care or information, anything that you feel really obsessed about, or you have a lot of, or you just really, really want to get. So it is kind of a medley. It is very bubbly and it's actually not so bad. It's not also messy. This time it's not so messy. People are having their own capacity to do their own thing, to judge the situation correctly. But aha, did you do badly in the year of the rabbit? And how do you know? You've got nobody, you've got no place to stay, you've got no finances, you got no education, you got no designs, you don't have anything, and you're just basically walking around saying, help me, help me. I have a few of these friends also myself. So here we are. Let's try to unpack this a little bit. Rabbit year was not about danger. It was not about damage. Rabbit here, as I've said earlier many times, in the simplest forms, was about packing your life carefully, being grateful for every day. It was about careful planning. It was about making and saving money. It was about having resources. It was about having a safe place to be. It was about home. It was about respect. It was about diligence. It was about programming. And yes, for some reason, maybe certain people that have come during the rabbit year will stay. So that means you can change your demographic. You could have changed your demographic, yeah, in a rabbit year. So for example, you've come from a very chaotic, very obsessive, compulsive type of family or team. You could have been in a very nice, simple, safe, and humble team if you wanted to. So this is when people work it out and they get out of there and get into the next zone. So for example, you've been working, and everybody around you was a hard worker, and then suddenly you worked your way out in rabbit year to have a simple, base career that is stress-free, and to have lots of people around you that are people of leisure and pleasure instead of people that are of chaos. So it was definitely about evading chaos. Now, we have now definitely a big burst and push in the dragon year. We have a huge rebirthing and a revival. And yeah, there are some questions of survival in certain people's cases. If you didn't do the best to protect yourself, if you didn't do the best job you could have during rabbit, it is now going to start to be obvious. So what I mean here is going to be very obvious if a person is frazzled, if they don't have any idea where they're going, if they don't have any financial support, if they don't have anything, if they're really afraid, if they're really scared. To be afraid during this time is dangerous. It is dangerous to have a lot of fear in the body. It's a very, very epic year this year round. We cannot afford to be fearful. We have only the one choice. You go and you get it done. You go and you buy that thing, or you go and you make it happen. You make it happen now. You make it happen now. And if you cannot do this, it is dangerous. And now it is dangerous to wait. If you have a real push or real desire, or you're feeling all this emotion and you don't want to go there, and you're feeling fearful and you're doing the accounts, and you're like, wait a minute, that's going to be very, very hard and harmful for certain people or somebody in the story. If you want to retain, if you want to escape, if you want to make sure that you don't have that happen which you did before, I don't feel it's going to be a good year, maybe, or a good 4 or 5 months where all the juiciness happens. So the first 4 signs of the year are some of the most important energies. You know, that's when we really make it. That's when we really bake that cake. That's when we really got this. If you don't want this, I'm so sorry to hear that. We have to be very, very careful also with you if you are this way. If you are very, very safe, if you're afraid, if you are feeling that everybody's a bully, if you're really, really scared about what you have done or claimed or have come to be, I'm really sorry. There is no time to rest. In a way, there is no time to also break free of these bonds if you have personality issues, if you have neurological conditions also, as I do as well. So we have to basically be very, very kind to you when that happens, but try to process it quickly and move on. This is the only time. This is the best time. This is, okay, this happens once every few years. You know, sometimes these energies are so strong, so beautiful, so big, and so gorgeous. If you really wanted to have it done, if you wanted to make it, if you wanted to cross a Rubicon, if you wanted to get acquainted or adjusted, if you wanted to make that new thing, like, honestly, today is the day. There's no better day than today. That's what basically this energy is speaking of. Even if there are eclipses in the sky, means danger, means mind your step. Let's try to make it nice and bulky. Let's try to make it meaty. Let's try to make it full, fulfilled. We have to get you strong in order to last. So this is also about kind of longevity and character and strength. In your muscles and your bones. We have to get there. We have to get there. This is a good time to start working out, even if you're crying, even if you're crying on the treadmill, just do it. We have to grow, and we have to make a certain energy burst or growth spurt during this time that we get to keep for later. So yeah, I made a fool of myself. I talked a lot and I done so many things, but look at what I've got. Even though it's kind of a shitty beginning sometimes, and Aries, it is something that you can eventually, sorry for the language, you can eventually work with, you can power through it, you can clean up, and you can present. It could also be epic. Like, just an example, I wrote a little book. I planned out how to write a little book about human evolution when I was at the hot springs, when I was actually on the bus to the hot springs, and then I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't want to just sit there writing books all my life, you know. So it's like that's also something that can happen. You kind of had a vision years before. It came to you and went, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you try this? And then you kind of start, and then something goes, actually, I don't want a sedentary lifestyle. I don't want to just sit there in front of the computer for the next 5 or 6 days trying to put this thing together. And that's also a truth. So maybe, for example, you met, I don't know, the man of your life during this time, but you actually say, that's actually based on my previous concepts. I don't really want that kind of guy today. This is something that I would have been grateful for the last few years, but right now, no. I would say probably take it, but there is also something in me that says with eclipse seasons, you don't just like take the bargains. You don't just take what's given to you sometimes during Aries. You don't just go, hey, wait, look, I could have always done this or always done that. To some degree, yeah, there are really good bargains going around during this time. They're really cool, bright ideas. They're good, necessary wisdoms. They are necessary friends, necessary feelings, and sometimes really necessary life results that can come from what you do in Aries. But here's the thing though, after Effects, some of it has been put together by your parents, some of it the universe has been asking for, and a lot of it is not necessarily your real deal. So with these eclipses, some of it can just close down as soon as it opens. And now here, don't be a mess about it. For example, you met the person and you know it's the person, but you're like, I'm gonna wait, see if anybody else comes up, and that person just goes, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that was my person. Ah, gosh, it's like fishing. You know, you're fishing for something and something bites and then you don't pull it out of the water quick enough. So here we rely on intuition, we rely on brawn, we also rely on happy happenings and conclusions, we rely on strength of character, we rely on the moment and the truth in the moment that your body generates within itself. So it's not just like, wait, I'm not awake yet. What time is it? We have to be strong. So how to keep strong, how to keep smart, how to keep bouncing, and how to keep on making choices. This is going to be maybe 5 or 6 choices for a person are going to come up at the beginning of the year, and they already maybe have come up since the 21st, 22nd, since the equinox time. You probably already had a million different choices, even if they were ephemeral, even if it was something in your head. Oh, I got to do this, or I got to try this, or I got to make this happen. There are still going to be quite a lot of choices happening for us. And yes, we do have an eclipse on the 8th of April, and it's going to be a full solar eclipse in Aries. So, like what your body is, who you are to yourself, what it all means. I will talk about this in a later video. Right now, let's talk a little bit about what to be and what to take care of during these choices and the significant also issues that could be coming up to the surface. So the one thing basically that I've done last year already is cut myself off from the past. I've made a big demographical shift and I worked myself out of a lot of dreams and thoughts and visions and ideas and mirages and significances that I've built over the last few years. So I've parted with quite a big chunk of my life. And here I am in a completely different demographical structure and a completely different type of character, in a sense. Well, within myself, I feel it's a different character. And I've made a really, really big choice to stay away from certain behaviors and certain experiences. You know, for example, being out of the new age completely and having a really, really simple and normal kind of life. So, for example, maybe some of those energies are still coming with you. So, I had some unresolved connections and they still kept on calling me, texting me, hey, can I come to your house? Can I sleep over? And the balancing act that I've done basically is not respond occasionally and occasionally just say, oh, I'm like really busy and stuff, you know. So it's absolutely okay to say, look, I'm kind of busy to the past, but that's not going to make it very easy. And in some cases, it is also going to be dangerous and demanding if you definitely want to just, you know, take out that fire, that flamethrower, and just burn down the previous vision and whatever was still unresolved or unconcluded in Robert. Yeah, so you got yourself a really nice prim and proper and clean and clear vision of what you're going to do and where you're going to be in 5 or 6 years time. So that's the thing, there is vision and then there's problems also with that. Sometimes you can have a very, very, very amazing brainiac moment when you know exactly who you are. During Aries, it's very easy to have that. An exact vision of your home, an exact vision of your future, an exact package of who you're going to be or who you've come to be already and what you're going to endorse or what you're going to separate. And that can sometimes be a little bit humiliating for somebody else. But that's the thing. selfishness, jealousy, also need for success. So how to basically put this all together mentally, especially if you've been brought up in a certain community or family home to have incredible, extreme compassion for every single thing that happens, and not to take care of yourself, but to take care of everybody else. So that's the thing. Basically, take it out of you, take it out of you. All the conditioning that tells you putting other thoughts and feelings first, all that family stuff, predators as well, like letting another person like suck your energy or take your time while you don't really care. You have to go, and you have to basically be busy or be not connecting to that, which is slowly just netting you into submission. So that's the biggest thing. Things that are just pacifying you, like alcohol as well, like certain type of drugs, certain type of people, certain representatives, like people of chaos, people that are just looking for somebody to please them or give them time and attention. I have a few of these people floating around also. Things that want you to stop and wait, things that want you to think, things that want you to eventually feel bad for something that you're doing, things that want you to eventually feel disrespect for your vision or disrespect for your own culture or your own ethnicity or your own group or your own philosophy. People that want you to stop right there and wait for them, leave them alone. And this is basically what I have done previously, last few years as well. I've really noticed this was happening. It's not actually a personal, private thing. Sometimes there's like a energy. There are also social, demographic, historical, tribal movements that are like, wait, wait. And sometimes they zoom past really, really quick. People have agendas also, and sometimes people don't have any respect for each other. And they want to basically, well, I don't want to like put so much like negative energy into this video, but okay, sure. They sometimes want to belittle or diminish each other's progress to make sure that they're still in the group and they still got a place. Like, say, for example, this individual wants somewhere to be and they want somebody to solve them, and they don't necessarily want me to go up. They want me to wait around for them so that they have somebody to lean on and somebody to cuddle while they're not doing anything, sitting on their phone and looking at Instagram. So this is basically what I'm going to tell you a little bit about when I have these things. I mean, I'm not sure what about you, I don't know. I have these feelings like I need to be there. Like there is something in it for me. Like being brought up in a very Christian home, you know, it's like, well, you got to respect this person, but you can't be naive as well, but you got to offer because, you know, you kind of go through a kind of lesson. Like you're going through a lesson by taking yourself out of you and your own path and giving to them something. And no, there is no gold. There is no pot of gold at the bottom of the rainbow. Like try to leave it for most people. Try to leave it and give yourself another type of hope, another type of vision, another type of thing. The way that I'm going to do it, I feel at this point, is try to go. Try to go. Try to go. For example, if something's been bugging you, like I got to go work out, work out. If you want to go to nature, go to nature. If you want to have fun, go. If you are feeling open to have physical intimacy with somebody, go. If you want to do this, do that, that's great. Active, sprightly, light, even robust, sure. Movements, big changes are really great. But here is the deal. For example, wanting things that you shouldn't have, like I want to eat everything in the fridge. You know, very easy to also become obese during this time because it's also a gain. And there's also a culture of that. So, for example, I want everything I want. Okay, Polina says I can go and I got the green light, and if it feels good to me, I should do it. Collecting stuff constantly, eating constantly, talking to people about nothing constantly, sugaring it all out, you know, playing Candy Crush all day. I want it, so this is what I want. Now this is really dangerous and harmful. I just got recently into Sugar Crush. I've been there for 2 days. It's fine. I just wanted to revive some of my psyche that I had when I was young, when I was playing similar games when I was younger, just to get to know myself. And that worked. But I didn't want to like do it last night. Like say I was sitting there for 2 hours still solving these puzzles, you know, that kind of thing. You don't need it, and it doesn't really give you any respect back. So definitely, what would be the ultimate choice? What would be the optimum choice? And people really need to grow. They really need to know about this now. What is going to give you the cleaner, more spick and span, unique, modernized beautiful version of everything. What is the best way? What is the modern way to take care of these things? What is the best, most sleek, most phenomenal way of doing it? That's the big question in Aries. So you've seen me playing it kind of safe last few months, and now this is it. This is it. This is it, you guys. Go out there. You gotta like go and swim and be in the deep end sometimes. But also here's another point. Because of how the sky is looking, we've got like of course Saturn behind the sun and everything. We can't give it our all. So that's the thing. We cannot give it our all. Meaning, if you have a crisis or crises that require you to be 100% there, and you've got to be so on point, and you've got to be so concentrated during this time, and it's kind of like a quote unquote life or death that's really, really bad for you. It's not about life or death. It's about keeping it light and keeping it shallow at this point in Aries, because Aries is also the sign of the child. It's not actually necessary to give it your all. So that's the thing. Like, for example, you are thinking, I'm going to buy this very expensive sports car right now because Polina says do what you want. Don't do that. Also, when it comes to splashing out, for example, buying something very expensive that you worked all last year to save for, doing something very, very strong like moving countries today, unless it's been naturally working itself out for the last few months for you to do it, I don't know. So I can also understand that what you would have cultivated, what you would have brought up, what you would have modernized and helped to germinate during rabbit year can be blown away in this time during a dragon year in like 1 minute. So imagine you just go to the casino and you blow it all away. So it's very, very, very simple for me now because I've been so freaking careful last couple of years, actually trying to be very, very gentle. But there's like this thing, also if you have a character trait, and this is something I talked about at the end of Pisces, if you have behavioral issues. What I mean behavioral issues is you want to do something crazy sometimes, or for example, you want to see damage, or you feel like it's funny when somebody hurts themselves. If you are looking for a very demanding outcome in your situation that you simply cannot have. So it's about behavioral thing. This is about balancing out the hormones, you guys. For some people, it's about balancing out your personality. It's about also having no critique for yourself or other people, because you want to make sure that everything works, and everything's juicy, and everybody kind of gets their say and does whatever. The idea I'm feeling during this time is try to be brisk and fresh and be on the run. Be not nervous about the fact that you basically have no idea what somebody else is doing, and you don't want to cuddle up to the shadow being. You don't want to cuddle up to somebody that just wants to take your time and disrespect you. You don't want to sit in a messy room. You don't want to like wait around for somebody. You don't want to be in a waiting room of life all your life, because this could very much be stamped into your energy during this time. You don't want to just sit there. You don't want to just wait for someone to get better. You don't want to wait for that respect or wait for the dollar, and just sitting there playing it safe and measuring your karma out. You need to be maybe broken through. So this is when the eclipses come in handy. But we also, yeah, we have the North Node illuminated during this particular month. So this is the thing, like this kind of depends on you and your levels of aggression and testosterone and estrogen and all of those different hormone levels. It also really kind of depends on if you can make it. So sometimes, you're looking at that horizon, you're looking at what you are wanting or what you want to gain or reach. Can you make it? Can you make it? So it's like those dudes with the sticks, those people with the sticks, like those large sticks, and then they kind of like run and the javelin, I don't remember what they're called, and they basically push it in the ground and then they jump over this other stick, that horizontal stick in the Olympics. I'm not sure if you're with me on this. I'm not sure if you're getting what I'm saying. I'm like blushing a little bit now because I don't know the actual term for this thing. But yeah, that can make sense. So yeah, that can really, really definitely make sense. Like, can you make that jump? Can you go further than that after that? Can you make it? Some ideas are a pocket. You see, some are a pocket. Like, for example, oh, I finally got that piano for my home. That's it. You don't need another piano. You don't need to be but yes, you can imagine there can also be a path. Like in 5 or 6 years, I'm going to know every single song that I want to learn on a piano. Okay, there's also a path. Yeah, but like, how can I say? Now, this is kind of hard. I understand that certain people's energies are just about pottering around. It is just about crafts and hand me downs and just, like making things and hanging out, and doing things that are not necessarily smaller, but just on the down low. They can still succeed. These people have sometimes very, very big businesses, like they could have a very busy Etsy account, or they could have a lot of friends, or they could be the word of the town, the name of the town, but they might not necessarily get it. It's so hard. Like, what I mean is slowly waking up at 12 p.m., doing some knitting or crafting, and then listening to some podcasts and going to sleep still during this time. Now, I'm going to try. I'm going to really try because I already got it. I know I've been doing this kind of stuff. Look at this thing. Look at this. I've been doing this kind of stuff. It's fine. I'm sitting in my bedroom just in case you're wondering why this is there. So basically, I gotta break it to you. It's a beautiful trait of character. It's a beautiful soul thing. We are in a dragon year, and it is a wooden dragon year, and the wood is a very warm element, and it's very good for craftspeople. It's very, very good at stuff. It's very, very industrious, and sometimes it can be very, very nice when you, through your patience, wood is about patience and skill, get to do what you really want to do. It's like, I want to make swords for a living, or I want to like create these beautiful romantic costumes for a living. I don't really care what the world is about. So I'm talking to the nerds. I don't know. I'm talking, let's not label them in this modern context. I'm talking to the very ancient and wise people that are like, I'm here on this planet to enjoy and have a passive life. If I could have a passive income, that would be great. If I could just enjoy my moment. So if you're a naturally passive or pacified person, say you got a lot of Pisces or Virgo or something like that, or you got your Venus in Aries or something, it's not in Aries, sorry, in Taurus. Let's say Taurus. Let's talk a little bit about this. If you have a very, very simple symmetry and you want to keep on cooking, making friends, you don't want this flamboyant, angular time to push you over the hill or over the edge. You don't want to make friends with people that are too nauseating. You don't want to go to places that are too loud or extreme. I've got something good for you. You need to have a very clean cut life, maybe, and a very perfect life, your pristine life, but it needs to be done in such a way that you can still fight it when the challenge comes. So, oh gosh, it's like a panda or another type of animal like that. A koala doesn't really have a way to sometimes fend for itself if its resources are dry, like without eucalyptus or without bamboo. What am I gonna do? I don't have any natural defense against predators except for my poop, like I got nothing there. So like these are like the people that don't necessarily really wish for any kind of organization. They don't necessarily want the time that we're going through to leave a mark, or they don't want any achievements, or they don't want any predatorism as well, but they just want to mean it when they say it, and they want to be careful with their time. They want to be very, very held, and they're still looking for a hug and a cuddle. And it's not just about being juvenile and not yet developed. It's not about being innocent, and it's never going to be. It's just about how life on that part of the planet has formed. For example, many people from a certain community, such as Wales, from Wales, for example, or from certain parts of the Middle East. They don't want to necessarily give it their all. They don't want to necessarily be trending, be part of a trend. They don't want to just like put it all there on the line. And sometimes people can't, if you're living a certain lifestyle, if you are like a stay-at-home mother or something like that, you can't really necessarily reach that height. So what I basically got to do for you here is try to help you evolve, even if you don't have a lot of these tools, or like if you're really, really bound, if you're really bound to something that other people have, people are still looking for you. Maybe there are people that want to, for example, employ you, buy your goods. It's a great idea to do a big formal presentation, to put your business card everywhere, to still be there in presence, to start a little YouTube channel, to start doing something safely. And yeah, it can still be as safe as it can also be glamorous. And it could also be very altruistic, or it could be very achieved. But here I am also with a little bit of those genes that I'm telling you, like, it's boring over here. It's boring. Hey, it's boring. It's boring, and it's going to be maybe very doubtful in the next year and a half. Still knitting the same sock, like still putting on the tea, and still not doing anything. So sometimes you could say, look, I've tried things so many times. Like I've tried Tai Chi and I loved it, but then I hated it. I tried yoga and I did it for a day and I didn't want to do it again. Like, yeah, people that want to just stay there. Oh gosh, like people that don't want to make anything different. People that don't care to. If you are not interested in this cardinal energy and if it scares you and it feels like it is bullying you, let it go. Now, look at this, like, are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with yourself? There are lots of people that aren't. Dragon year is the year of legacy, like, this is the full bloom of you. And if you are not quite happy with yourself, do something else. Like, say, me, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm just going to do it. I know I'm going to probably, like, gosh, have not such a great time, but I'm going to try. Okay. Maybe there's another thing like superfoods, like doing other things. Like my mind is not actually creative enough for you right now. I'm sorry about this. If you're really old fashioned or you're feeling tired, it's not a very caring month for you. And sometimes it is about having you shoved aside and somebody else coming in with their microphone, like singing the song, like lip syncing, whatever. So, like, there's going to be definitely a predatory vibe to any dragon year. And there are going to be hard yards, there are going to be bullies, there are going to be also soft, really refined and defined people that are going to play this game as if it was snakes and ladders and get themselves where they want to go. They are very smart people. Maybe they've come from a certain genetic base that is not very strong, that's not very good at fending for itself or looking after itself, or will not be able to stand a chance if there was a predator, like a panda, would not probably be very lucky if it encountered a predator. There is going to have to be some time spent on a plan. There will have to be some kind of sprucing. There will have to be some portfolio work. Last few years, I talked a lot about portfolio work. If you are a craftsperson, make a beautiful portfolio. If you're an artist, it is great. It's probably the best to be outstanding for something that you're doing over time. Maybe your personality doesn't get things just like that. Maybe your face, or maybe your energy, or maybe the clothes you wear, maybe nothing really works. It's kind of like, we saw you and thank you so much. So also this is the thing, X Factor people, it's not just X Factor. Enough aggression and vibrancy does the job during this time. It's like a person shows up and their finest goes bang, and everybody's like, whoa, awesome. And then that's it. It's like Candy Crush. I'm not sure if you play this game. I just played for the affirmations. Like, divine, delicious, tasty. Like, I played for the affirmations. Maybe for you too, it's kind of the same kind of thing. And it's like a culture thing. Looking over people and also seeing how they've done. Making friends also with new people, trying to do something different. And some of us struggle. It's like, say, I'm 40 years old almost, and I've done everything, and I'm bored now, and I just want to make sure that I'm safe, and my feet are up, and in my hammock, and I'm drinking my tea, and I'm sharing my philosophies. But maybe that's not good enough for you. So, like, basically, how like I'm seeing this time is it's really hard, and it's kind of dangerous also to talk down to yourself. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Sometimes, yeah, it is about pushing on and making the dream happen. And in some cases, it's like, look, I'm like over the time where it was fun for me to try. And maybe this depends on every different type of structure and character, it depends on different ethnicities and different modes of operation. It's not just the one mode for every single person. That's the thing with Dragon Year. It has to be diverse and it has to be respected that certain people feel a certain way. So the thing basically about this is, it's your choice. Ah, and now this really breaks you free, maybe, it's your choice. It's like, yeah, but I'm knitting because my grandmother used to knit. It's like, yeah, 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 yeah. It's your choice. And this probably breaks you free from quite a lot of stuff. And it can help you grow. Also, hot and cold showers, saunas, breaking your body free. The other day, what I did was crazy. I put like tiger balm all over my legs to wake them up because my lifestyle has been so stationary last few years. And that worked. That was great. That was crazy, but it was great. It's your choice. It's your choice to get on that treadmill. It's your choice to change your life. It is your choice to make your work more iconic and more productive, but it also is your choice to live a freaking free life where you don't have to sit there sewing and knitting and crafting. You don't necessarily have to listen to me, but I will say it. There is nothing quite like a free spirited human. There is nothing quite like health, like vibration. Sure, we can make things, we can make art, we can make products, we can make produce. Sorry if this is a bit tough to hear. We can make a house, we can make things, but we don't have health eventually, after all. Sometimes, if you have a certain lifestyle that is really dependent on you sitting in front of the screen all your life or doing things bit by bit, bit by bit, and then, like, this kind of reminds me of the Middle Ages, even before the Middle Ages, prehistoric times, and like, say, there would be a little settlement of humans and then some big alpha tribe comes in, very, very strong, very, very crazy tribe comes in and just takes it all away. Like, sorry, takes advantage of the women and burns down the houses and steals all the gold they want, eat all the food they want, and kill everybody. And then they go. Like, I'm not telling you this is going to happen. It's just from my genetic history. We had that happen a lot in my country, in the countries around the area. When you have not a lot of choice, you put yourself into a very kind of segregated thing. Like, oh, I just wake up and I pray to God, and then I go online and I solve this, and then I solve that, and then I do this and I do that. Like, I've been watching reels, and actually, I had a little addiction to reels for about a couple of months. And what has really put me off is these people. Oh, this is my day. I wake up and I make a smoothie, and then I go for a walk, and then I sit down somewhere in the park and I eat my sandwich. Like, okay, so what I'm basically saying, not necessarily that I'm judging, we're in the very alpha time. If there was a time to get strong, if there was a time to be fast and furious and to be a crazy person and to let yourself be free, or let yourself be free from that small little zone where you just go from here to there, and here's the gym and here's the swimming pool, and that's it, that's all I'm doing today. That can also be very wise. And for some people, they know, like, if they went into the greater world with a backpack, they would lose their minds. They would lose everything. They don't know where to go. And not many people want to really necessarily initiate themselves so much. But how fun would it be to live a cool life? if if there was somebody coming to your house, if there was, I don't know, like, say we had Mongolian invasions in Russia, right? If there was a Mongolian invasion, you had your pitchfork, you'd be fine. Or you would know how to, like, run for the hills, run for the forest. You would actually have some kind of a backup plan, or you'd know what to do. I'm not telling you that there's going to be a Mongolian invasion. Sorry if you're Mongolian. But I'm just going to say, like, if there was ever a really racy time and you couldn't handle it and your heart was precipitating, it's like, how could she say that to me? Or like, what do they mean I have to pay this account? What is this? What is this? If anything gets you really, really strong feelings and you know that you can't handle your own stuff, when the times get tough, I would suggest hot and cold contrasts, like showers, standing on nails, like a board of nails. At least buy yourself that mat with those little round things with the little spikes on them. Like, do something. Dry brushing, at least, just something, just jogging on the spot, something just to lift that energy and to make sure that your body feels that if anything happens, you can survive. It doesn't mean that you have to run away from the invasion of the Mongolian tribes. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't. I'm not trying to foreshadow it. I'm not saying that war is coming or anything like that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, little rabbit. Don't worry. It's just about making sure that your body feels fine and safe within itself. And it may not really feel that good unless you have a lot of brawn and a lot of attitude. And sometimes if somebody says something, you're like, what? No, like, and that's actually a good feeling. You at the moment might say, no, 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 all this love and light, and I will just like stick to my matcha and I'm fine. And that's also good enough. If it's good enough for you, then it's obviously amazing. And that's also another thing I feel to keep in terms of this reading, maybe. Um, if you feel great, if you feel graceful in something, it's like, oh my God, when I'm walking, I'm walking. When I'm talking, I'm talking. Like when I'm singing the song, listen to this. I've got like full confidence when I sing, or like say, for example, like I cook, nobody cooks, or like I talk, nobody talks, or like when I'm behind the wheel of a car, I think I'm probably one of the best drivers that I've ever seen in my life. That's awesome. So when you have awesomeness and you're like, I got this, and not just like, oh, I think I'm pretty good at this, like, I got this. This is when you have magic bells, and like silvery energy, and your aura is gorgeous, and I don't want to destroy it. If you think you're just awesome and you have incredible ease, incredible professionalism, incredible poise, incredible grace, incredible beauty when it comes to anything that you do, and you're like, wow, I blow myself away. I'm so great. Then that's that. That's that. Maybe that's it. Maybe you've already reached it, and there's no point of telling you how anymore. So yeah, what else can I say? I mean, it is about alpha mode, like right now. It is about where you are needed and wanted as well. To some degree, employment is going to be just wrong this time around. You don't want to get employed. If you can help it, don't look for employment during this month. Try to evade it. Try to think about your spirit first and what you want to do. Even if your life is like, but you know, my life depends. Like, also try to look out for this. Did you make a life where you are completely dead set, involved in other people's stuff, where you have to constantly be productive to make sure that you make it through the day, that you have food on your table and stuff? No, that's really hard to talk about. If you have such a life where you're completely dependent on the amount of work you put in to make some money and to survive anything, survive a social scene, survive your family life, to survive anything or anybody, this is hard. You have to say no. You have to respect yourself. Maybe it's a good time to put all your energy that you take towards work into a certain little container. Like I work a solid 4 hour day, but everything else is mine. Like I'm going to put my phone on silent for the rest of the day. I work a 4 hour day, but the rest of the day is entirely my choice. So this feeling of this is my choice, this is my choice, this is my choice is a really, really good, phenomenalized, maybe slightly energy. If you know that this is your choice and there's nobody behind you, no mama, no papa, no great grandmother making these choices for you, then that's it. The goose is cooked. Chevre, as they say in Venezuela. It's a wonderful, fantastic time to get yourself connected and united with some people that really, really want to see you there. But the feeling I'm feeling also, make sure it's for free. Like, I just showed up to that party. I don't need to look a certain way. I don't need to be breathtaking. I don't need to say anything outlandish. I don't need to be exciting. I don't even really need to necessarily be there, but I'm always welcome. That's good. So we're looking at the opposite of comfort. Like, for example, you ran, you did your sprint, and then you like get to relax. Nobody's asking you to be somebody else. Nobody's like, well, what do you have to say? Like, you can just do yourself, and you don't have to be counted on. You don't have to have people question you whether or not this is your real personality, if this is your truth. Questionable behavior. Oh my God, it's just such a headache. Don't walk into it with Taurus. Um, as we're heading to the end of the month, don't let other people scrutinize you. It's like, look, I'm doing this because I want to, and no, I'm not over explaining myself because it feels good to someone else. I'm not. I'm not wearing that. Why? Because it's not me. Like, I'm not saying that because it's not me. And then you basically close up shop and make it a very, very exciting and significant method or message as to what you really mean to yourself. Taurus is gonna be so fine this year. It's going to be so great to see you finally fulfilled if you have reached that point in Aries. If after this little mini adventure or like epic, like Gilgamesh epic of Aries, you will probably be very, very well and very fine to do in Taurus. So Taurus, with also Jupiter and Uranus inside a sign, is going to just greet you, be like, well done, well done. So all the Taurian energies are looking very, very fine. Eat as much as you want, care for yourself. This is like the victor arrives. You know, this is like ancient Greece or ancient Rome. You know, the guy goes to war, he arrives, you know, and he's the victor and he gets to do whatever he wants. You know, he gets to sit at the most lavish table in the world and eat as much food as he likes. He gets to listen to beautiful music and play along with gorgeous people and have some fun. It's going to be very, very sensuous, and it's going to be very sexy, and it's going to be very, very addictive, and it's going to be great. But it is, yeah, going to be so much better if you do something very, very, very epic. And Aries, and keep on pushing yourself. Sorry, I know it sounds immature. If you kept on facing your fears, if you kept on facing your ironies, if you kept on fighting and trying to find an outcome in Aries, because some of these doors are very small. Like you just go, you try, oh wow, this is a no. Oh, you try, oh wow, this is a no. It's going to be a very quick turnaround in Aries if you employ yourself. I would say, I don't know how to talk to my audience sometimes. If you make yourself, I don't know. If you initiate, no, I don't know. People don't like that word either. If you push yourself, I don't know. This is like a normal word to use in American language. If you get yourself, I don't know. If you use, here we are. Damn. Okay. If we use this time in Aries. Happy now? Is it better? See, it's all in the little tiny little things up there. Very, very fine. Little details. Okay, if we treat, how about treat? That's very clinical, but okay, if we treat the time that we're having in Aries in such a way that we see it as an opportunity, and beyond that opportunity is more opportunity and more options and more options and more options, and we go there where the heart wants to go and where the body likes to be, where you naturally enjoy to be, but not like, oh yeah, I guess I like it. No, like really enjoy it. Then you will have yourself a say. This is like a stage where you really get to like tap dance it out. This is when you get to be a fool sometimes, a very forgiving time, very forgiving energy. Yeah, be a fool, but make it, make it. It's not about just being a fool and like blowing your self-esteem. It's about making it and doing what you really probably wanted to do for ages and making no choices for other people. And don't get, like, for example, in bed with anybody that you don't care about. You know, don't make friends with like just whoever. Make a really, really epic, free, and maybe a safe to a degree journey so that you can make it later again and again and again. So it's not just like a stale, regular, old-fashioned life. It's not just a stale, regular, old-fashioned organism. It's not just a boring old job. It's not just a me as well. It's more like a life. It's more like a lifetime. It's gonna put wind in your sails. You know, so putting the wind in your sails, making yourself feel more open to life, making yourself feel more exact on who you are and what your vision is, feeling fresh, feeling revived. And yeah, for sure, the shortcut is saunas, running, sprinting, that thing with the pole, I don't remember, the juggle, with the jumping. um, yeah, therapies for the body, but like strong therapies, not just lying there, please rub me, like really strong therapies for the body, and achievement will be closer to you if you're feeling fresh and vibrationally revived, which may not actually have to be at all about the home and the cooking and what people are saying out there, or even about art or any kind of like epic thing that you imagined yourself to be about. It's about you, you, like you. It's about you. And it's not just about what people say, and we forget that. So thank you very much, enjoy, and I'll see you next time. And yes, you can get a reading with me if you want, and check out my Patreon.